Why shouldn't you be fired? That's not a dramatic headline. It's what fans in Dallas are literally shouting at Mavericks GM Nico Harrison. Because if you thought the Luka Dončić situation was messy when it started, it's only gotten worse. And now, the franchise that had one of the brightest futures in the league is spiraling. And fast. Let's rewind. Luka comes back to Dallas. Only this time he's wearing a Lakers jersey. The crowd, ruthless. Thousands of people chanting, booing, holding up signs. They aren't cheering for Luka, they're mourning him. And they're blaming one person for it all, Nico Harrison. That night wasn't just emotional, it was symbolic. It was a reminder of what Dallas had and what they threw away. Let's not sugarcoat it. The Luka trade is being called the worst in NBA history. A generational talent, still just 26, traded away in his prime for a package that fans and most analysts still don't fully understand. Anthony Davis, picks, some depth. On paper, maybe it looked like a win-now move, but in reality, it wrecked everything. And Nico Harrison? Instead of facing the noise, he disappeared. For months, fans and reporters got nothing. No interviews, no public statements. Nothing but silence, until he finally showed up for an emergency press conference next to Jason Kidd, who looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. It was awkward, it was forced, and it didn't answer a single real question. Then came the closed-door media session. No cameras, no tough questions, only hand-picked reporters, most of whom weren't even buying what was being sold. It felt shady, like a cover-up, not a clarification. And it sent a loud message to the fans, we don't owe you the truth. But things got really wild when Nico finally spoke publicly. When asked about the backlash from trading Luka, his response was baffling. I didn't quite know the level of how much he meant to the fans. Let that sink in. This is the general manager of an NBA franchise. The guy responsible for everything basketball-related. And he didn't realize the fans might be upset about trading away Luka Dončić, arguably the most beloved player in the league. How do you not know that? Luka didn't just lead Dallas to the finals last year, he was Dallas. You can make a case that no star meant more to their city than Luka did to the Mavs. He was young, dominant, and loyal. And he brought that team within a few games of a title. He was the future. But according to Nico, he just didn't get it, and it gets worse. Since the trade, the Mavs have completely unraveled. They missed the playoffs, injuries piled up, and ownership, furious. But here's the kicker. They gave Nico full control. The green light to make massive decisions without pushback. So when the trade blew up, they couldn't distance themselves fast enough. Now there are rumors flying that Nico Harrison might not survive the offseason, that the owners are looking for a scapegoat, and who better than the guy who made the trade that torpedoed their entire season. But here's where things get complicated, because if you look at some of Nico's moves on paper, they actually weren't bad. He drafted Derek Lively, a solid pick who's turning into a reliable big. He traded for Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington at the deadline, both of whom helped stabilize the roster. And let's not forget Kyrie Irving. That move raised eyebrows, but it worked. Kyrie clicked with Luka. They made the finals. For a moment, it looked like Nico had built something special. So why the outrage? Because all of those moves, every single one, only made sense if Luka was still there. He was the centerpiece, the anchor, the reason you trade your future picks to go all in. But once Luka's gone, that plan collapses. Think about it. You trade away future first-rounders for Kyrie and Washington. You mortgage the long term for a short window of championship contention. And then you close that window yourself by shipping out your franchise player? It doesn't add up. It never did. And now, the Mavs are stuck. They have aging stars, Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, neither of whom you can trust to stay healthy. Kyrie's knee injury is serious. He's not expected back until after the All-Star break next season. A D? He misses double-digit games every year. And the Mavs? They'll probably hover around 40 wins and bow out early if they even make it. Meanwhile, Luka is thriving in LA. He's still Luka, still electric, still making highlight reels and buzzer beaters. The Lakers are dangerous again, and Dallas, they're left with a busted roster, no draft picks, and a fan base ready to riot. So when Nico says, I think I've done a good job here, what does that even mean? Yes, you made some solid trades. Yes, you drafted well. But when the sum of those moves ends in trading away the best player the franchise has had since Dirk Nowitzki, none of it matters. Because the one thing you can't do as a GM is lose the fans. And in Dallas, the fans have spoken. They're not just angry, they're embarrassed, betrayed, and unless something changes fast, they're going to keep chanting "Fire Nico" until someone actually listens. At this point, the writing's on the wall. Nico Harrison will likely be gone within a year. The team is out of sync. The timeline is broken, the future is murky, And worst of all, they did it to themselves. The Luka trade wasn't just bad, it was franchise-altering. And now, Dallas is left staring at the wreckage, wondering how they let it happen. Because when Nico brought that trade to ownership, when he said, "I've got to deal with the Lakers," that should have been the moment someone stepped in. That should have been the moment someone said, "Absolutely not." Instead, they let it happen. And now, they're paying the price.